an entrepreneur launching a new business forecast sales? That is a great question, and I'm going to teach you how to create a sales forecast, even if you're a brand new entrepreneur. The first thing to know is that your sales forecast is like a map. If you don't have one, you are blindly driving across the country and hoping to get where you want to go. Not the best idea. So instead, you are going to write out a forecast and plan so that you can position yourself and make the right decisions so that you can hit your sales goals consistently. I'm Amy Walker, the sales doc and client acquisition specialist, and I help clients create consistent, predictable sales through organic marketing and scalable sales strategies. So thank you for joining me in today's sales doc video, where we are diagnosing your sales woes so that your sales can be sick in a good way. A year and a half ago, I helped a client launch her new home decor subscription box service. She had no idea if anyone was going to buy the product, how much to charge, or how to predict how much she was going to make. This is the same process that we went through, and she built that sales forecast, and to no surprise to anyone, she met and exceeded her forecast. That's the power of the plan. It shows you what to work towards. So here's my promise. If you will use this video like a business exercise and actually write out your forecast as you watch, you're going to walk away with a usable sales plan. That's pretty cool. The first thing you've got to do is get your pricing strategy set up. This means that you need to look at comparisons. What are other people charging for similar services? What will the market support? For example, I might think that I am the world's greatest piano teacher, but in reality, I was never even a great pianist. And I might think that my time is worth $5,000 an hour, where if you're great, if you're one of the masters, yeah, your time's worth that. But if you're just like an average piano teacher, then the market won't support that high of a rate. So we need to figure out what are the comps, what will the market support, and then what's our profit that we want to have. It's really important to start with a profit goal in mind, because otherwise you will have sales with no profits. And that means you're not making money. So sales with no profits is not good. The other thing that you cannot do in here is include your labor as free labor. So what I would start with first is saying, this is how much I want to profit this year. Profit from the business. Then I would say, this is how much I want the business to pay me for my labor and time. Then I would look at what everyone else is charging. I would figure out 10% to go towards cost of sales, 10% to go towards admin support, and I would figure out about 15% to go to the marketing. So you have, on top of the profit goal, on top of the amount that you want to earn for the hours that you put into providing the service, or the hours that you work in the business. Now you're going to look at that and you're going to add on like 35%. That's going to help you figure out your pricing strategy. If you do that and you come up with a price that the market will not support, you're going to have to do a deeper dive. And in this video, I can't necessarily go over what to do in that situation, but you're welcome to join our private Facebook group, Acquire, and ask. And I'm happy to talk you through that, because there are some things you can do. You can lower costs, you can differentiate so that you can go to a higher price point in the market. You can look at packaging, you can look at an ascension ladder. There's some more things, but we don't have time to go into all of them in this video. Okay, so the second thing that we are going to do is we're going to create a goal for the number of units sold for our product or our service. And again, this is a goal. This is not, based on past year sales, I know we're going to sell this much. This is how many units I want to sell per product or service that we have to offer. So question for all of you, how many of you have done this already? If you've already done these first two steps, just type in already done it. If you have not done it yet, just type in I'm about to, and let me know where you guys are at in the process. Okay, tip number 3, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to figure out how many units you can sell per week, per salesperson. So I want you to look at your time and how much you have available to dedicate specifically to sales conversations. And then how many, like let's say you go, I have 1 day a week that I'm doing admin stuff, 3 days a week that I'm taking care of clients. I have 1 day a week that I can dedicate to sales conversations. Great. How many of those can you have? How many can you close per week? If you look at that, you're going to then times that, and this is step number 4, times that by 50, because you're going to have an off week here and there where you want to go on vacation or something like that. So times it by 50, that's the amount of weeks you'll work per year, and that tells me how many sales you can accomplish on your own within the year. If you don't like that number, then what we do is we come back and we add in another salesperson. The salesperson should have more hours available than you because they're not the business owner. All they're doing is selling. And so now we can look at it and say, okay, it's going to take me 3 salespeople in order to hit this goal this year. All right, tip number 5, because that last one was kind of like 3 and 4 together. Tip number 5 is that we are going to create a monthly projection and a monthly sales report. So the monthly sales projection is going to look like, how many leads do we think are going to come in? How many people do we think are going to buy? How many people do we think are going to upsell? And it's basically setting out our goals. And I'm not calling it monthly goals, I'm calling it monthly projections, because projections are based on a little bit of historical data. It kills me, you guys. It kills me when I meet small business owners and they're like, I want to do 10,000 a month in sales next month. And I'm like, awesome. How much did you do last month? I didn't do any. I'm like, well, that's not the first benchmark that we're going to need to go after, right? Like, you're not going to go from 0 to 10 overnight. You're going to look at it and say, okay, I did 0. So this month, let me try to close 2 deals. What would that look like? And then after I close 2, let me try to close 4. And then let me try to close 6. So we're going to base it off of projections. And then at the end of the month, we come back through and we say what actually happened. So this is where we get the data moving forward. So if we thought we were going to get 50 leads through our social media and in reality we got 2, then now in our next month projection, we could say, okay, well, I think we could go from 2 leads to 5 leads. So that becomes our projection. And maybe we thought we were going to meet 3 people at a networking event, but in reality we met 50. Now we can project that and say, well, we met 50 people at a networking event last month. Let's do that again plus 2 other networking events. And that will help increase the number of leads. So projecting and then reporting is where you get this data, and you need to do it every single month. Is this helping? Are you getting this information? I would love to hear from you in the comments, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel, my friend, and hit the bell notification so you can get notified every time we release new content. And then for me, pretty please, would you hit the like button so that YouTube knows that the algorithm should be friends with us and show this video to other people. The next thing that you need to do, this is tip number 6, is create a client acquisition plan. This is where you actually know your projected cost per lead, how much you can afford to pay for a lead. You need to know what your marketing budget is. You need to know your conversion rates so that you can create an actual plan for how to get the right amount of clients. Now, there's some math involved, and a lot of you don't know the formulas, and so I actually have created a really cool tool that I will share with you. If you go to ultimatemarketingcalendar.com, you can download a template that has all of the formulas built in, and you enter in your sales goal and the conversion numbers that you have. Like if I talk to 5 people, I close 1. You enter those in and it will tell you exactly how many leads you need. Then you can track the way that your leads are coming in, and you can track the conversions, and it will tell you how much you are paying per lead and what the value of each lead is from each lead source. So it is a really handy tool. If you don't like the numbers in business and even just hearing them makes your brain spin, you really need this tool because it will do the math for you. The next thing that we want to look at in our sales projection is we want to look at repeat sales. Do we expect people to purchase more than once from us within a year? What percentage of people do we think are going to repeat purchase? And if we have any type of a subscription service, how long do we think they'll stay involved in the subscription? We also want to look at what's the average dollar amount per person. So I have a medical practice that I worked with for the last 2 years, and their strategy, we created a massive increase of close to $1 million in increase. And the way that we did it was we looked at the average amount that people were spending with them. And we said, if they got 2 more services a year, each of their current patients, if they each did 2 more services a year, then they would have over $1 million in sales. So because it's a medical practice, we're not trying to make people come in for procedures they don't need, but they had things that are part of people's routine care that's covered by their insurance that they just weren't asking them to do every year. Like some people were not getting asked to come in for their yearly mammograms. Some people were not getting asked to have their blood work drawn every year. Like these are things that were covered, but they just were falling through the cracks. And so by providing a better quality care plan, we were also able to drive up the sales and not have to focus on bringing in a bunch of new people. So I know that's for an existing business and you're looking at this as a newbie, but I want you to get that in your mind that this is not about one-offs. It's not about first-time sales. This is about building clients who are going to stay with you year after year, and they're going to come back again and again, and they're going to work with you. So what does that look like? We need to set some goals and set some projections around that so we can track it, monitor it, and then figure out how to do better with it. Now, I know that you want something that outlasts this year. You probably want like a 5-year growth plan. And so what you're going to do is you're going to figure out year 1, and then you're going to add a consecutive growth percentage year over year. And I would put it at somewhere between 10 and 30%. There are definitely businesses that I work with that they 10x in a year or they double in a year. But I think 10 to 30% is kind of standard what people are doing without hiring a coach or a consultant, just focusing on their own business. So that's the way that I would project that out. And then you can look at that and have your year goals for the next 5 years, even if you're just getting started. So now you know how to create a sales forecast as a small business owner. The next thing to learn is going to be client acquisition. So where do you find those clients? How do you close those clients? So I want you to go check out the video, How to Fix the 5 Biggest Problems in Your Marketing. It's a 15-minute masterclass that is going to walk you through that process of building out your client acquisition plan. And I can't wait to see you over there.